I don't want to buy into this dipshit centrist narrative that this is somehow like a moment of peace and reconciliation. You want peace and reconciliation? Sure, they can take a crack at it. Paul Pelosi got bludgeoned with a hammer. None of them gave a shit about stochastic terrorism. Republicans only remember what stochastic terrorism is when they're the ones who are suffering from it. This is the guy who got killed? Yeah, it is him. News outlets are confirming his name was Corey Comparator, and here he was saying he was going to the rally. This is what I mean about the perceived neutrality of just casually interviewing people who are at the Trump rally. And it's like, oh yeah, the guy who died, the person who was killed at the rally, the innocent bystander, Hitlerite. If viewed through a historical lens, this guy would be, it would be like, oh, at like a Nazi rally, this guy got killed in like a fight that broke out. You know, I don't think people would be shedding tears over that. Insane. The DEI plant. Who's worse, KJP or Jen Psaki? I wonder if this guy was slightly racist, you know? A Putin supporter too, and nothing of value was lost. Yeah, literally. Traitor to the American people. Just say the N-word. Literally, just say the N-word, dog. You're not fooling anyone with DEI. This guy was a cultist. His entire life is just being pro-Trump. Oh yeah, here's the Putin one. The room is engulfed in flames. You can only save AOC, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or Vladimir Putin. Putin, 100%, you know? Like, great, man. What do you notice about this milk? It's real unpasteurized milk, and that's what we drink in my house, straight from the farm. This guy's a lunatic! Are you still boycotting Bud Light? I never drank it, so no. Oh, okay. The principled answer, I guess. Literally, like, his entire life online is just the GOP. Mike Johnson might as well be a Democrat? This guy's insane! Holy shit! A f***ing hyper Hitler. Man invites company over to trick wife into cleaning the house. That is a great idea. Cereal is too expensive. I'm not necessarily going over this to, like, mock his death. I just think it's important to never be tricked by the media into thinking of any hardcore Trump supporter as, like, a neutral or innocent, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're bringing the people at the rally on CNN to say, like, oh yeah, it was scary, there were gunshots. They're talking to Hitler Jr. over there. Like I said earlier, if there was a Klan rally and a fight broke out and someone died, the media probably wouldn't be like, hey, hello, Klan attendant, would you like to uncritically share your perspective on the, you know, and the Klan attendant is like, I just thank God that all the other people got out safe. And the CNN anchor is like, I agree. Thank God all the Klan members got out safe. And it's, fuck you. I'm not buying this shit. He was retweeting RFK Jr. Was he supporting him over Trump? No, he's still a Trump supporter. He really does not like Speaker Johnson, I'll say that much. You see these global warming activists standing on ice with nooses around their necks. What do? Go bowling? Go ice kicking. I mean skating, yeah, skating. Joking about killing climate change activists, albeit ones with a very stupid setup. Looks very stupid, not denying this. Not even a well set up joke? No. Well, he's like a boomer, you know. Trump poses many threats to our country, from Joe Biden. We're not stupid people. Stop talking to us as if we are. They're all literal demons, aren't they? Not every Republican is as crazy as this guy, but if you're showing up to Trump rallies in person, yeah, you're pretty demonic. Yeah, 100%. The majority of Republicans are latently bigoted, confused, and stupid. Oh, all the way back in October of last year, he was in favor of Mike Johnson. Probably turned against him as soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene did. I did see a post for him where he was, on January 6th, he was saying that Mike Pence needs to be held to account or something like that. Whose Twitter is this? The Trump supporter who died in place of Trump at the rally from the shooter. Grimly scrolling through. Stop funding Ukraine, of course. I feel bad for people like this. I know they're supporting evil, but they're just so stupid. Yeah. I don't think it's really possible or even necessarily ethical to do, but getting the social media accounts of a bunch of people who are present at the rally and just going like, wow, they're all Hitler, you know, would be an interesting exercise, if nothing else. Kind of gross, the people in chat implying he deserved to die and such. The guy was an idiot sucked into propaganda, not necessarily a knowingly malicious actor. Spit spat, you're getting into like the foundational question of like personal responsibility and determinism. That guy would probably support policies that would put you in a camp, you know? Like at the end of the day, nobody's evil because they have the evil gene. Like no one's waking up with like the demonic spark in the brain that makes them like innately bad. Everyone is a construction of their environmental influences, modified, you know, influenced by genetic factors. It's complicated. You never know what's genetic and what's environmental either, you know? You don't know. You know, the Luftwaffe bombing London, the Wehrmacht marching east, both of them, any individual pilot or soldier, you know, they're not born with the evil gene. They're just German guys. They get roped into things, but what are they doing now? They're killing you, right? I think that the path forward for this country is one ultimately of peace and reconciliation. That being said, when, you know, the country is full of Hitlers who would see us all dead, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be baited by the mainstream media into pretending that this is like a, you know, like a this is like a moment of unifying tragedy. No political lessons to be learned from this. All grievances set aside. I do not set aside the grievances. You know why? Because they're not. You think every Trump supporter right now is going like, oh, in the wake of this violence, I will no longer support any of the entire policy program of the Republican Party. I have now changed my mind on everything. I am now fully in favor of reconciliation. I don't believe in pushing any of this. Probably not. They still want you gone, man. They haven't forgotten, and I'm not going to either. I'd rather have empathy than not at the end of the day, even for evil people. When did I say don't have empathy? You think, like, you can have empathy for anyone. You should have empathy for everyone. Empathy is the bedrock of sociological analysis. You have to empathize with the worst people to understand where they're coming from. And if you can't understand where they're coming from, how do you stop more people from being like them? The ability to empathize with one of those Wehrmacht soldiers is how you arrive at the positions that help you understand how you prevent people from being like that. Because if you just throw your arms up in the air and you go, oh, they're like that because they're evil, well, what do you learn from that? Nothing. It's a shorthand. You call everyone a monster. If they do something bad, you never learn why they became that monster. You're kind of cheating yourself out of useful analysis. You should empathize with that dipshit who got shot at the rally. You should empathize with Donald Trump. Why is Trump so desperate for applause? Motherfucker had like an abusive, distant, wealthy father who never gave him praise. You know, he's like a classic psychology case. Give the man a therapist 50 years ago, he wouldn't be the way he is today. It's daddy issue shit, you know? You have to have empathy for the worst people, but that doesn't mean, you know, having empathy for the Wehrmacht soldier doesn't mean, you know, you're not defending yourself on the Eastern Front. You know what I'm saying? Many people are going to use this incident as an attempt to downplay the harm Republicans represent. The Republicans are and I'm not saying this rhetorically, apocalyptic threat because of climate change. They are a monstrous threat to the well-being of billions of people. Their platform is one of almost universal suffering. Basically, nobody benefits in the long run from their positions. It's a very easy cut and dry answer, morally speaking. Just because someone clipped Trump's ear, that doesn't change any of that. I don't want to buy into this dipshit centrist narrative that this is somehow like a moment of peace and reconciliation. You want peace and reconciliation? Sure, they can make a shot at it. They can take a crack at it. Paul Pelosi got bludgeoned with a hammer. None of them gave a shit about stochastic terrorism. Republicans only remember what stochastic terrorism is when they're the ones who are suffering from it. I'm telling you, man, he's going to show up at the RNC and it's going to be just as bad as ever. Don't forget that. Cry-bully behavior from the right. Nazis are good at two things in particular, projection and cry-bullying, which is why they said the Jews are the ones who cry out in pain as they strike you. In reality, literally every single bit of Nazi propaganda is predicated on dog whistling and the presumption of victimhood. If you look at Nazi posters on Twitter, of which there are many, They will never ever say, we want power so we can conquer. We want power so we can be dominant. They never say it, even though that's what they want. And you know that they know that's what they want because they admit it privately. In public, they'll always say, you know, we're under attack. We need to fight back. It's always the presumption of victimhood. They're always the aggrieved ones, always on the defensive, even as they push for laws that would hurt you when they're not under threat. Always with the euphemism, always with the cloaking intention. And then you look at them privately, they're all giggling. Hee hee, we're so clever.